This is our complete guide to filming with iPhone for beginners. We'll cover everything from iPhone video settings to iPhone filming tools so that you can create amazing looking videos with your iPhone fast. Now I want to start off by saying if all you've got is your iPhone, no extra accessories or anything, you still have enough right now to create amazing looking videos. This entire video is shot using the front-facing camera of an iPhone with very minimal setup. But obviously adding some extra gear and apps, we can also take things to the next level as well. Now don't worry about taking notes as we go through. I do have a free downloadable PDF resource, a checklist with this, taking you through the key steps that you can print it out, you can follow along when you're creating your videos. And it's linked on screen and it's also in the description box below. The first thing though we'll want to do is we want to lock down our shooting location. So ideally we're going to pick something with minimal background noise, something with minimal distractions, something ideally where we're not going to be interrupted while we're creating our content, but also an area that's not too dark. Our phones these days don't do a bad job in low light, but they're not as good as more professional cameras. From there, we want to get everything set up and ready to go. And one of the things I recommend you do very early on is clean your camera lens. I mean, these are our phones. They're up against our faces. It could be dirt, makeup, whatever on there. You want to make sure that lens is clean before we create any videos. You then want to check your battery level. Let's make sure that you've actually got enough battery to record, and the same with your phone storage as well. If you've got a bunch of photos and videos and things on there and not much storage left, we don't want to hit that situation where our recording stops because our phone is full. So it's a good idea to check all of this stuff up front, make sure that we do have enough storage, enough battery, but also we want to be putting our phone into airplane mode or flight mode so that we're not getting any calls and distractions and things happening while we're recording. Next up, you want to decide which camera you're going to be using on your phone. Is it the one on the front or is it one of the higher quality cameras on the back? Obviously, there's pros and cons of each. If you want the highest quality recording, then you really want to be using the ones on the back. So if you're going to be creating a video like I am now, the front-facing camera is going to be really easy for you to monitor and check everything because you can see the screen, you can see what's happening. If you're going to be using the cameras on the back, it is going to be a little bit harder if you don't have someone there to help you, to make sure that everything is framed correctly, to make sure that you actually are recording. Now, we've got some other videos and resources and things to help you with this down in the description box below, but it could be as simple as mirroring your phone screen to a TV or to a computer nearby, or even monitoring everything from an Apple Watch. But a quick, really important tip, if you are going to be using the front-facing camera, you want to make sure that you're making eye contact with the camera lens, not with the phone screen. It's so tempting to just look at yourself instead of the phone lens, but you'll create a much better, much more engaging video if you're speaking directly to your viewers and not looking at yourself. Next, you want to get your camera set up to the right height. Now, this is obviously where a tripod is going to be helpful, but if you don't have a tripod, then use what you have. You could set your phone up on a bookcase, you could rest it up against something, as long as you're getting it to the right height, which is just below eye level. So you can see I'm just using a really basic tripod setup here now. And again, we'll have some links in the description box below to help you. Once your phone is at the correct height, this is where we can start to frame up our shot to make sure that everything is looking the way that we like as to what's going on in the background, where you're sitting, where you're standing, making sure that we've got a little bit of space above our heads and that we're not chopping ourselves off or anything like that. But this is also where we start to look at things like lighting to make sure that our shot is looking the way that we'd like. So the most important piece with lighting is that you or the subject of the video are lit well so that your viewers can see you. And one of the easiest things you can do for this is sit in front of a window and get that nice natural light coming through. Obviously, it's not going to work if it's not daytime or if you're in a location without windows, but this is again where you want to use what you already have. Is there a bedside table light, a desk lamp, any sort of light that you could bring in to light you up? And then if you've got extra lights, you can use those to light up your background too. Next up, if you've got a microphone, this is where you will connect it. If you don't have a microphone, again, we want to be finding a location with minimal background noise so that you're coming through nice and clear into that recording. So for this setup here, I'm choosing a simple wired microphone. I've got it taped up here under my shirt. Again, links in the description. But also, again, very simple setup. From here, you want to go ahead, open up the camera app on your phone, make sure that we have video selected so we can just swipe across the side or the bottom and make sure we're on video. Now on some of the more recent phones, you'll also have a cinematic mode on here as well, where it will blur out the background. That's actually what I'm using for this video here, and I've got the background blur turned down, but you can see that the background is a little bit blurred out and it's doing a great job. So if your phone supports it and you want that blurry background look, then use cinematic mode. If not, just use the regular video mode. Next up, we'll want to check our recording quality settings. So this is whether we're going to be recording in 4K or 1080p, or if you're on an older phone, that could be 720p. Now, wherever possible, I would suggest that you are recording your videos at 1080p at the lowest quality. But again, if you're someone who wants the highest quality, then 4K is an option for most phones out there. Now, if you do want to dive deeper into iPhone camera settings and really configure things up, we do have a dedicated video on that, again, linked in the description. But for most people, this is going to be enough. Now, from here, depending on the type of video you're going to be recording, it could be a good idea to lock down your brightness and your focus at this point, so that you don't have them automatically adjusting and changing while you're recording. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want this if you're going to be moving around and light changing and all of that stuff. You do want that automatic adjustment happening for you. But if you're in a scenario like I am, where nothing really is going to change, then we can lock that down. And all we need to do is to tap and press and hold on our phone screen for the area that we want to lock down the focus and the brightness for, and it's going to lock that for us. Now, if we do want to make a brightness adjustment up or down from that point, then we can just tap and hold on the screen and swipe up or down to brighten or darken our shot. Okay, we're nearly done, but this is a step that so many people miss. You want to press record and you want to do a quick test recording. You want to present to camera like you actually are doing it live for a short period of time, stop the recording, play it back, make sure everything looks the way that you want it, sounds the way that you want it, make sure you're good to go, just in case there's any issues. The last step, obvious one, we want to hit record and we want to record our content. Now, this one's your call, whether you're choosing to break your content down into chunks, whether you're starting and stopping recording. For me, I normally just hit record and just let that video record for the length of how long it takes me, including all of my mistakes and retakes and all of that stuff. It's much easier for me to have one large video file that I can then chop down instead of having a bunch of smaller ones. So that is step by step the process to create amazing looking videos on your iPhone. Don't forget to download our free PDF guide and checklist to take you through this when you're creating your videos. There's a link for that on screen and below in the description. And again, we've got a bunch of other resources in the description to help you even further. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.